El siguiente podcast solo está disponible en inglés. Sometimes, the truest friendships are not the ones you see every week, but the ones that live quietly in the background, constantly and kindly, no matter the time or the distance. In this episode, I sit down with my dear friend Tobias, my flatmate, my grocery buddy, my co-dreamer, during our masters at Goldsmiths in London in 2023. We haven't seen each other much since then. Life took us to different corners of the world, from the Marshall Islands to Colombia, from Denmark to wherever our hearts needed to be. But somehow, the thread between us never broke. This is not just a conversation about memory or fun memories. It's about what happens when you share a kitchen and a season of your life with someone you never knew, and it ends up shaping you more than you expected. And yet, something remained. This is a conversation about how a friendship can grow, not in spite of distance, but because of it, and how we learn to be friends without demands, about the kind of bond that doesn't expect, but simply welcomes, and how true closeness sometimes means giving each other a space. We talk about vulnerability, and that kind of teasing only real friends understand, a soft, affectionate kind of bullying that says, I know you, I get you, you are safe with me. This is not a dialogue about the past. It's a celebration of presence, of maturity, and of the silent ways we stay in each other's lives. Join us up next as we explore what makes friendship last, what we taught each other in silence, and how, even across the oceans, some people simply remain home. Welcome, this is From One to One with Tobias Hochreuter. So it's time to have some fun, and one of my best friends in this life is with me today. He's thankfully back in Copenhagen, his hometown. I'm talking about Tobias, the most biased, but his name is, of course, Tobias Hochreuter. I never got to know how to pronounce your last name. How are you? And please introduce yourself in the way it should be pronounced, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Louis, and thank you for inviting me. First of all, I can pronounce my last name rightfully.
Yeah, please.
Hochreuter.
Okay, I never did. It's impossible. It's impossible.
No one's able to do it. But that's all right. I
remember the first time you taught me how to do it. You said like Huck, and then do you remember like the news agency Reuters? Oh, it's just
exactly.
like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it is. Hochreuter.
Okay, so the story is this. Tobias and I met in some kind of weird class at Goldsmiths. It was a Monday afternoon. The class was about writing. It was academic writing, in fact. Yeah. So, I didn't know Tobias. He's like 2 meters tall. He was actually living in the same building I used to live. But he lived in the 5th floor. I lived in the 3rd floor in the middle of Asia. And I won't say anything else. But the thing is, you arrived to the academic writing class, and for some reason, we ended up talking about the washing machine and the dryer. You said that you couldn't use the washing machine or the dryer. I don't remember that well. But you were like, I cannot wash my clothes. My God, I'm going to die here. Can you confirm my thesis, please?
Probably. To be honest, I can't remember that part. But I remember some minutes before that, I think. Can I explain? Can I talk about my perspective from how we met?
Yeah, please do. Please, okay. Of course. It shouldn't be like on my own side.
Yeah, because I love this story. So It's the first week of Goldsmiths University. We just arrived. Louis arrived from Colombia. I arrived from Denmark. Everything is very, very new. Everyone knows how it is the first week. You're trying something new. It's a bit tense, the atmosphere. It's a bit awkward. You're meeting a lot of new people. And it's the first class of creative writing. And I'm sitting there with my classmates, and Louis is in the other class because I studied TV journalism, and you were studying what was it called?
Digital journalism. Yeah.
Digital journalism. So I was sitting there. We were all sitting there waiting for the teacher to come in, the university teacher, and then I see this handsome man from Colombia. I'm thinking, okay, I haven't met him before, but also you're standing there like very, very great clothes, like very conservative clothes. You're wearing like this sweatshirt and your shirt underneath that, belt, very fine, like piece of pants, standing there. And I'm looking at you, looking up. I'm sitting down, I'm looking up. And then you're saying to me, do you remember what you're saying?
Yeah, are you the teacher?
Yeah. So you said, no, I'm not your teacher. And I'm like, all right. And then I just burst out laughing.
It was are you the professor? Because it's British. Are you the professor? I said, no, do I look like one? That's what I said. And then, for some weird reason, we ended up talking about the washing machine.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Said, no, it doesn't work for me. But yeah, it's really important because thanks to Tobias, I got to know my own supermarket, which became my own home. So we used to live in a very residential zone, which is surrounded by small supermarkets, not big supermarkets, but small supermarkets. One of them was Coop, and I didn't know the existence of Coop until you told me, oh, there's a Coop nearby. Don't go to Sainsbury's, come with me. So we became like a couple to go to buy groceries, and that became a breakthrough part of our friendship, going to the supermarket and buying groceries. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Great meal deals.
Yeah, of course. And because you were aware, I love chicken. So they used to sell half-roasted chicken. Anyway, the good thing about this is because in these cases, you and I and everybody is looking to make new friends. And probably creating friendships in this stage of life is somehow difficult. And because you are arriving to a very new part, you are arriving to a university that is mostly woke and people may be introverted. So it's not easy to create friends at first. And because you are living in the 5th floor by the error or a mistake, if I'm not mistaken, of the manager of the place.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you were living with undergrads and I was living in the postgraduate floor. So that's part of the deal. So,
and we were both doing our masters.
Yeah. Well, that's how we became friends.
Yeah.
And actually, we were both journalists. And for the people who are listening to us, at the time I met Tobias, I didn't know he was such a famous figure in Denmark. You were a newscaster, weren't you?
I wouldn't say I was famous.
Why?
But yeah, I've been in television a few times. I did also some social media videos for some youth media. But I was working for it was called TV2. It's still called TV2, a Danish broadcast station, national broadcast station here in Denmark. But I stopped there and then I went to London.
There were several things that really help us to make our friendship grow. For example, you met my Latino friends. And you joined me in many of our crazy parties. In fact, once we traveled together to Brighton for a birthday party, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and we all have to wear pink clothes. Well, whatever. And I also remember your birthday, which is in the 5th day of May. And this is in the Latin American tradition, the person who is having their birthday is being invited. But in your Danish tradition, the person who is celebrating the birthday is actually the person who invites the other. So it was it's amazing. It was a really great spring plan for us. Because there was, do you remember the name of the bar or the pub that we visit that night? Parley. It's Parley.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and I also remember the roller coasters we tried.
Yeah. That's part. Okay, so we became great friends, almost brothers in that part of our journey as students. And then we, of course, split up when you went back to Denmark and you ended up living in Marshall Island. And I ended up at the BBC and then coming back to Colombia. But the question I want to actually make is, even though we have spent like a long time apart, how do you think we have managed to stay close and still laugh about the same things and even create new memories despite the fact that we are half of the world apart? Because Denmark is not close to Colombia. And when you go back to Marshall Island, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the Pacific. In fact, when I tell people here in Colombia, oh no, he's living in the Marshall Island, people say, where in the world is that? I say, in the middle of nowhere. It's where the calendar starts. It's in the Pacific. So my question is, how do we make it work like this? To become friends, despite the fact we are not seeing each other physically, and the time zones are our main enemies.
Yeah, it's a good question. I have also think about it. I think, first of all, I think it's very difficult always to manage to keep the connection, even though, when you are very distant from each other. So I think it is very different, very difficult. But I think we're managing to do it because we're still having a lot of fun together, even though we're not physically together. So there's first of all that part, but also just the authenticity. So right now I'm back home in Denmark. I've been away for 10 months. I'm just here for a month and then I'm going back to the Marshall Islands. And when I'm here with my friends, it's like I've only been away for 1 week. So nothing's like, they haven't changed personally very much. I haven't changed personally very much. And even if we have that, then we're still connecting to each other. We can still relate to each other. We can still have great conversations with each other and have fun together. And I think that's very important, and I think that's the same with you when we are talking together, because I think one of the important things for me personally is to have phone calls, because that's just more personal.
Yeah.
And when we have our phone calls, we always have fun together, and it doesn't seem like we're far away from each other. So I think that's a very, very necessary aspect actually for me. And also something that I really appreciate is that you are very good at initializing the conversations with me, texting me, even though it's difficult sometimes and I'm not always replying, and the same goes for you. Then I'm replying and then it takes 24 hours or 48 hours for you to reply back. But we're still managing to keep that contact and keep the connection, even though we're very distance away. A very far distance away from each other.
Do you remember the last time we saw each other? It wasn't in London.
Yeah, like physically? No, that was in Paris.
Yeah, we met in Paris by accident. I was visiting with my mother. And then you were like nearby Notre Dame Cathedral. And you said, because I posted a picture. I don't know if I sent you a picture.
No, you posted the picture on Facebook.
Did I?
Yeah,
probably because we got our final degrees from the university at the time, and I asked you, have you received your final degree from the university? But I don't know. No, you texted me. You said, "Are you in Paris?" I said, "Yes, I am." I am too. Yeah. So you got to meet my mother. You don't speak Spanish. Well, a few words, but my mother doesn't speak English. So it was amazing to be the interpreter of both. Yeah, and so my mother fall in love with you. And so every time she has the opportunity, she asks, "How is Tobias doing?" And I say, "He's all right." And when is he coming to Colombia to visit? Oh, he came to Costa Rica, but he didn't want to come to Colombia. So you must hate him.
No, that's not why. You know that. No, your mother is lovely, and I really want to come to Colombia. So, and I will one day. I'm sure I will one day. But I was in Costa Rica with a friend, and then we were only there for 3 weeks, I think. Then we had to go back to Denmark.
That's how you know.
It was fun to meet her, actually. Even though it's difficult to actually have a conversation with each other, then it still felt like we connected. We had a good time.
Yes, and probably I must probably visit first Denmark.
Yeah.
Once you go back to Copenhagen. I want to go back to our friendship, how our friendship was built in a supermarket, going for the groceries. Of course, you used to buy some raw content, like you would like to cook. I didn't cook. I just bought some meals at the supermarket. My question is, and we might be a little stepping into a slippery floor right now, is if our friendship were to be a grocery list, what do you think would be on that list?
On that list?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The first thing, as bread, is sense of humor.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned first of all before, I think the first thing would be chicken because we would demand that. Yeah, I think I would demand some vegetables for that. Maybe broccoli. To fry that. Then we could fry some chicken.
Of course, and then laugh.
And then I don't know. What would you think?
It depends where the supermarket is located. If the supermarket is in Colombia, you would ask for aguardiente. Because I must say that in the first few weeks of getting to know Tobias, I traveled to London with little and small shots of aguardiente. Aguardiente is the very Colombian beverage, which is very popular in the country. So you have never tasted aguardiente before. So you went to my room, which was 211. It was 221. 221. And then you arrived, and I said to you, have you ever tasted this? And you said no. Then I recorded a video of yourself trying or tasting aguardiente, and your face is just amazing. And at the end, you said, oh, I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, definitely. That would also be top 3, definitely. Maybe top 1 on our grocery list.
What's your name?
My name's Tobias, 25 years old. And I've looked forward to taste this.
Yeah, what's the name of that?
Actually, I can't remember. Aguardiente.
Aguardiente, okay. Okay, he's gonna taste it. We're gonna see if he likes that beautiful smell. Smell it.
It's not even open.
Can you smell it? Didn't break that.
Okay, so it's...
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's not that bad.
Oh, you liked it?
I don't like it, but it's not bad. But it's not that bad. I have something way worse for you. Some Danish thing.
Okay, finish it.
Usually people from Latin America normally and generally say that people from northern countries like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland are cold people. They say like, you don't show up your emotions and, well, you're not emotional people. In the contrary sense, people from Latin America are really talkative and we may be really emotional. So our mix of friendship actually is a surprise because you don't tend to be very emotional, but you're a happy person, like a warm person. You are not the specific type of cold person. And then we actually like click to get to know each other and have fun, to hate the same things and to love the same things. And probably because we bully each other a lot. How do you think that helped us to understand our emotional fluency in London? Because there were days in which I didn't see you, and there were days like, oh, you're alive. Oh, I'm glad you're alive. Oh, you're hangover. Oh, such news.
Well, I think also that differences meet each other, like different people meet each other and connect to each other very much, very easily sometimes. It all obviously depends on how you are as a person and what kind of people you are matching with. But I think the perception of Scandinavian people being a bit cold, introvert, not expressing themselves so much, I think that's truthful. So I agree with that in some point, and I can also see myself in that point because I'm not always initializing the conversations, which you are very good at. I really like hanging out with people that are talkative, also curious people, but also talkative and can keep this conversation alive, which Latin people are very good at. Let's be honest, they're very passionate, very good at expressing themselves, they're very talkative, so I like that. And then I can add to it and we can match each other in that way and build something up, build up a good conversation, bully each other gently, and all that. So it's not just me being quiet and not talking at all and being cold, but I think an advice for your listeners, even though we might seem cold and all that, then try to have a conversation with us, initialize the conversation, because we become lively, especially when we're drunk.
Yeah, of course.
And
you said drunk. Okay, because you said drunk. Okay, there is a plan that we used to do together. We did it a few times because we don't have a lot of time for doing it. But you invited me to the pub which was nearby our home to watch football. I'm not a person of football, but we watched football together. And I remember at the time we were at the university, there was the World Cup in Qatar. Was it?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, and that you were all, Denmark is playing, and you went to the university wearing your Denmark shirt.
Of course.
But it was a disaster at the end.
Yeah. It was an awful World Cup. Everyone in Denmark had such high expectations because, we used to be good, and then that World Cup was a disaster, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we still had fun. We still, had a good time.
Okay, so I want to jump to this because around springtime, you told me you really liked our Latino parties. And I must say that my friends really love you. Lorena loves you, Nicolas loves you, and everybody asks about you because you were such a character with us. And you found something that may be disturbing for some people, that most of us were speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
But for decency with you, sometimes we would speak in English because we wanted you to feel welcome with us and be part of the group as well. So how do you feel around that time when you were behaving like a Latino as well and dancing and drinking and shouting and laughing about our silliness? How do you recall that time?
Yeah, I recall it as a fun time. You and your friends. So it was like coming into a group that already existed very well. You were all like, the atmosphere was there, and you all seemed to know each other very well. And then I came out of nowhere. It seemed like being this person from Denmark, not able to understand Spanish at all, which I'm very sorry about still, because I still really want to learn it. It was a very fun time. We had some great parties, and they were very welcoming still. So they were very good at taking the action of introducing me to each other, and you did that very well. And they were also speaking English to me and greeting me and like taking me in. So I feel welcome, and I feel like it was a fun time. I was very drunk, and I had fun with them, and I remember you did too.
Yeah,
we had some great parties.
You know, I don't remember because there's a blank space.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. There is a picture of us, you and I, which is really embarrassing. That picture is encrypted because we are really drunk in the picture. Anyways, last few questions. How do you think our friendship has shaped the person you are today? And for example, that you went living to the middle of nowhere, which is Marshall Islands. So did our friendship, our growing up together in London, because we're like 7 years apart. I'm older than you 7 years, am I? How old are you? 25?
28. I was 25 when we met.
Yeah, sorry. You're still 25 for me. Yeah, but I'm 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
Is there something that actually shaped your character after we met?
Definitely had an impact on it. I think we met each other, now I'm talking for myself, I think we met each other where I personally had a very difficult time actually in London, to be honest. It was it was the first time for me living outside of Denmark for such long time. And I had my ups and downs in London. But you really kept a positive attitude whenever we met each other. And you always came with the same energy into the conversations, into me, and that all it felt like we the energy that I had evolved in the conversations when we were together. So you really brought me up in that moment, and that was really nice for me. And that's definitely something that I'm taking with me, to always bring that positive energy and still be able to keep and have an authentic conversation with you and be honest to each other about how we're feeling, is there any issues, but also still like keep the good mood and keep the Latin passion. I always want to have that, but I think chronically I'm not able to do it all the time. But I really want to, and that's something, because you're my only real Latin friend, so that's really nice. So I'm definitely taking that with me from our time in London.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I was just remembering once when we went, you remember Giles Pitts? Because Tobias, Giles, and I share one common subject at the university, which was law. Media law and ethics was the name, right? Yeah. And you also had a friend. But together, we went to a pub. I just don't remember the name of the pub. Do you remember that I ordered a burger and the waiter arrived with 4 patties of meat? With the burger, it was a huge burger. I ended up like eating it, but how in the world did you arrive with 4 pieces of meat in a burger? Yeah. The concept in itself is crazy, and the fact that you're ordering that burger is even more crazy, to be honest. And like eating it like it was nothing. I was hungry because it was around 8:30 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, because we have tons of memories together. We went together. Do you remember when we went to the museum? I don't remember. Was the Albert and Victoria Albert?
Yeah, exactly.
Museum. That actually were like playing like kids. Tons of memories that actually got us here, despite the fact we have thousands of kilometers of distance. But we're fortunate enough to be connected. Although you don't use Instagram. So if you are listening and you are trying to find Tobias on Instagram, I'm sorry. Bad news. You won't find him.
Impossible.
But if you want to see some pictures of him, just scroll down my profile. You may find some, especially in Brighton.
Probably
there's one called Appreciation Post for Tobias. The most biased. Before we end our chat, if you have to describe our friendship, Mr. Hochreuter, in one word or image, what would it be and why?
Our friendship, what it would be in an image.
Or a word.
Or a word. Let me think. Oh, that's a difficult question. I'd say different. I think it's very different from the common friendship that I have, because first of all, one of them is the distance, but also we're very different people, but we're still managing to keep we're still managing to keep to be good friends with each other. It's not often that we see each other. We've only lived in the same country and in the same city for 1 year, which is also very uncommon for me, and then still be able to talk like it's been like several years than like since I know you from day one, which I have not. Yes. So I think for me it's very different from all my other friendships, especially the ones that I have here at home. It's what do you think?
No, it feels like yesterday. I to be honest, if I get to see you tomorrow, it will be as fun as it would be like when we were going up St. Paul's Cathedral. Do you remember?
Exactly.
And I was limping because I said, "Oh, my knee hurts. I'm too old for this." I remember that well.
Yeah, and I think that's also because the honesty, like we in a town where like I had a very difficult time, maybe you felt the same ways sometimes, then we were able to talk about it and being honest about how we felt about everything, like the situation in the university, the situation at our program, in the country in itself, and also just moving away from our home. So being able to talk that in a country where people are like often wrapped in like a beautiful piece of paper where they're not able to be completely honest all the time. That's my perception of it. To also sometimes just be a bit dull and say that life is not going so well right now and this is shit.
And I think part and the key of this is that we embrace our vulnerability and we understand each other in our vulnerabilities, and when we were tired of the weather, and when we were tired of the university, because we were tired of the same products at the same supermarket, and we were tired of the tube always being closed for our home every weekend.
And it wasn't like we were. Yeah, and it wasn't like we were complaining all the time. I don't feel that it was that way. but we found a way to like have some positive memories in it, and like also have good chats about it and have fun together about how shitty some situations were.
Yes, indeed, and despite the fact that we don't see each other since 2023, we're still together speaking, and that's why you are here in my podcast, the first time in English.
Yeah,
so sorry, Spanish speakers, but here's Tobias, and I won't offer any translation because there's no money for that.
And I apologize for not being able to speak Spanish, but I hope it's not a problem for your listeners.
Okay, what do you want us to never lose, no matter how life changes?
Never lose the online connection, first of all, because then our friendship is fucked.
Yes,
but yeah,
first.
Yeah, but also not lose our ability to, as I said before, be honest with each other, but also, keep the good mood, be ourselves. Definitely the authenticity. I think that is the main thing, the main reason why it feels like it was yesterday that we were in London together.
Yeah, because there is no ego telling us, oh, you didn't text me, so I will never talk to him again. There is no ego between us. It's like, oh, you want to text me? I'll reply back once I can. And same from your side. Okay, Mr. Unpronounceable last name, thank you for being with me in my podcast. It's such a privilege, and I'm very happy that you're here. People don't know, but we are seeing each other in a camera right now. And he is seeing me, and I'm seeing him. And because he is back with his vagina hairstyle again.
I can't believe you're saying that in your podcast. Wow.
Because I needed to. Because, yes, that's part of our way of bullying each other, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, okay, Mr. Hochreuter, I'll see you soon then.
See you, and thank you very much for inviting me.